Welcome all to today's lesson, and my name is Patricia. I'm going to take you through Introduction to Operating System. And here is a picture that illustrates what an operating system is all about. And according to the definition, an operating system is a program that acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware and controls the execution of all kinds of programs. Here is a photo, an infographic where you can now see the definition is very clear. We have the operating system, which is the program between the software and the hardware. We have some functions of operating system, and one of them we have memory management, processor management, device management, file management, security, control over system performance, job accounting, error detecting aids, coordination between the other software and users. As we proceed, we go to the number one function, which is memory management. Memory management refers to the management of primary memory or main memory. Main memory is a large array of words or bytes where each word or byte has its own address. Main memory provides a fast storage that can be accessed directly by the CPU. For a program to be executed, it must be in the main memory. An operating system does the following activities for the memory management. Number one, we have it helps in keeping the track of primary memory, i.e., what part of it are in use by whom, what part are not in use. Number two, we have in multi-programming, the operating system decides which program can get memory, when and how much. Allocates the memory when process requests it to do so. It also deallocates the memory when the process no longer needs it or has been terminated. Number two function of operating system is processor management. Processor management, here we find that in multi-programming environment, the operating system decides which process gets the processor when and how much time. This function is called process scheduling. An operating system does the following activities for processor management. Number one, we have its help in keeping track of processor and status of process. The program responsible for this track is known as track controller. It also helps to allocate the processor /CPU to a process. It deallocates the process when the process is no longer required. Number three function is device management. An operating system manages device communication via their respective drivers. It does the following activities for the device management. Keep track of all devices. Number two, it decides which process gets the device when and how much time. It allocates drives in the efficient way. It also deallocates drives. Number four, we have file management, and in file management, a file system is normally organized into directories for each navigation and usage. These directories may contain files and other directions. An operating system does the following activities for file management. One, it keeps track of information, location, usage, status. The collective facilities are often known as file system. Number 2, it decides who gets the resources. Number 3, it allocates the resources. And finally, it deallocates the resources. Other important activities are: it offers security by means of password and similar other techniques. It prevents unauthorized access to program and data. That is when one decides to password their computers or laptops. That is the work of an operating system. We have another one. It controls over system performance, recording delays between requests for a service and response from the system. It's also it does a job accounting, keep track of time and resources used by various jobs and users. Error detecting aid, production of dump, trace, error messages, and other debugging and error detecting aids. That is another work of an operating system. Another one, it's coordination between other softwares and users, coordination and assignment of compilers, interpreters, assemblers, and other softwares to the various users of the computer systems. So those are the functions of an operating system. We have types of operating system, and operating systems are there from the very first computers, are there from the very first computer generation, and they keep evolving with time. In this chapter, we will discuss some of the important types of operating system which are most commonly used. In number 1 type of operating system, we have batch operating system. The user of a batch operating system does not interact with the computer directly. Each user prepares his job on an offline device like punch cards and submit it to the computer operators. To speed up the processing, jobs with similar needs are batched together and run as a group. The programmer leaves their program with the operator, and the operator then sort the program with similar requirement into batches. The problem with batch system are as follows: lack of interaction between the user and the job. CPU is often idle because the speed of the mechanical input-output device is slower than the CPU. It's also difficult to provide the desired priority. And number 2 type of operating system, we have time sharing operating system. Time sharing is a technique which enables many people allocated at various terminals to use a particular computer system at the same time. Time sharing or multitasking is a logical extension of multiprogramming. The processor's time, which is shared among multiple users simultaneously, is termed as time sharing. The main difference between multi-program batch system and time sharing system is that in case of multi-program batch system, the objective is to minimize processor use, whereas time sharing system, the objective is to minimize response time. Multiple jobs are executed by the CPU by switching between them, but the switches occur so frequently. Thus, the user can receive an immediate response. For example, in a transaction process, the processor executes each user program in a short burst and quantum of computation. That is, if a user are present, then each user can get a time quantum. When the user submits the command, the response time is in few seconds at most. The operating system uses CPU scheduling and multiprogramming to provide each user with a small portion of a time. Computer systems that are designed primarily as batch systems have been modified to time-sharing systems. We have advantages and disadvantages of time-sharing operating system. Advantage number 1, it provides the advantage of quick response. Number 2, avoid duplication of softwares. Number 3, it reduces CPU idle time. And disadvantages of time-sharing operating system. Number 1 problem is the problem of reliability. Number 2, question of security and integrity of user programs and data. Problem of data communication is also another problem or disadvantages of time sharing operating system. Number 3 type of operating system, we have distributed operating system. Distributed system use multiple central processors to serve multiple real-time applications and multiple users. Data processing jobs are distributed among the processors accordingly. The processors communicate with one another through various communication lines such as high-speed buses or telephone lines. They are referred as loosely coupled system or distributed system. Processors in a distributed system may vary in size and functions. These processors are referred as sites, nodes, computers, and so on. The advantage of distributed system are as follows. With resource sharing facility, a user at one site may be able to use the resource available at another. Number 2, it speeds up the exchange of data with one another via electronic mail. Number 3, if one site fails in a distributed system, the remaining sites can potentially continue operating. Number 4, data service to the customers. Number 5, it reduction of load on host computers. Another one, reduction of delays in data processing. Those are some of the advantages of distributed system. We have number 4 type of operating system, which is called network operating system. A network operating system runs on a server and provides the server the capability to manage data, users, groups, security, applications, and other network functions. The primary purpose of the network operating system is to allow shared files and printers access among multiple computers in a network. Typically a local area network, LAN, a private network, or to other networks. Examples of network operating system include Microsoft Windows Servers 2003, Microsoft Windows Servers 2008. We have Unix, Linux, Mac OS, Novell, and so on. We have advantages of the network Advantages and disadvantages of network operating system. With the advantages, we have centralized servers are highly stable. Security is server managed. Upgrades to new technologies and hardware can be easily integrated into the system. Another advantage, remote access to servers is possible from different location and type of system. We proceed to the disadvantages of network operating system, and number one, we have high cost of buying and running a server. Number two, dependency on a central location for most operations. Regular maintenance and updates are required. And we proceed to the next type, number 5 type of operating system. We have real-time operating system. Real-time system is defined as a data processing system in which the time interval required to process and respond to inputs is so small that it controls the environment. The time taken by the system to respond to an input and display of a required update information is termed as the response time. So in this method, the response time is very less as compared to online processing. Real-time systems are used when there are rigid time requirements on the operation of a processor or the flow of data, and real-time system can be used as a control device in a dedicated application. A real-time operating system must have well-defined fixed time constraints, otherwise the system will fail. For example, scientific experiments, medical imaging system, industrial control system, weapon system, robots, air traffic control system, and etc. There are two types of real-time operating system. The types of real-time operating system we have: hard real-time operating system and soft real-time operating system. Hard real-time system guarantee the critical task completion on time. In hard real-time system, secondary storage is limited or missing and the data is stored in ROM. In this system, virtual memory is almost never found. In soft real-time system are less restrictive. A critical real-time task gets priority over other tasks and retains the priority until it completes. Soft real-time systems have limited utility than hard real-time system. For example, multimedia, virtual reality, advanced scientific projects like undersea exploration and planetary rovers, etc. We have uses of operating system commands. Use of operating system commands. There are many different operating systems. Each do the same thing. They control all input, processing, and output. Click on the link to see examples of desktop for the operating system listed. These examples opens in their own window. And we have number 1, disk operating system, or we can say it is a DOS, in full disk operating system. One of the first operating system for the personal computer. When you turn the computer on, all you saw was the command prompt, which looked like. C. Command. You had to type all commands at the command prompt, which might look like C/wp/wp.exe. This is called a command line interface. It was not very user-friendly. Then we have Windows. Windows operating system, a product of Microsoft, is a graphical user interface operating system. This type of user-friendly operating system is said to have WIMP features, and the WIMP features, W stand for Windows, I icons, M menus, P pointers device. For example, the mouse is an example of a pointing device. We have Mac OS, Macintosh, a product of Apple, has its own operating system for a graphic user interface and a WIMP features. We have Unix and Linux. The PC version of Unix, the Unix and Linux were originally created with a command line interface, but currently I've added a graphic user interface enhancements. We have operating system, Microsoft DOS commands, and we say those commands are the commands available in Microsoft DOS that are used to interact with the operating system and other command line based softwares. Accessing DOS interface, on start button type CMD, short for command, to open the DOS command interface. Here is a table with the commands and the description. We have dir, which is described as list of the content of a folder. We have cd, which is described as change folders. cd dot parent folder. md or mkdir, create a new folder. Del tree, this is a delete a folder and all subfolders. We have copy or xcopy, which means copies a file. Move, to means move a file. Del, to mean delete a file. Type, displays the content of a file. Type more, display file content page by page, pausing after each page. And my good people, that marks the end of our lesson, and thank you for your time. Remember to subscribe on my YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.